The World Cup brings a specific intensity to a host city. Here in Vancouver, the tournament's massive scale hangs over the skyline. Inside the stadium, that local energy condenses into a physical force. The roaring crowd creates a 12th man effect, feeding adrenaline to the players. But arriving at this match against Qatar, the Canadian squad carried a heavy historical void. Prior to kickoff, the men's national team had never secured a single victory in a World Cup match. Reaching this stage demand a lifetime of sacrifice. These players have missed the family gatherings and normal life milestones, all to prepare for this exact window of opportunity. From the sidelines, manager Jesse Marsch dialed up the pressure. His tactical setup required the team to step completely out of their comfort zone, commanding them to dominate the opposition rather than cautiously feeling out the game. This collision of a massive home crowd, historical baggage, and aggressive coaching created a severe psychological test. The squad either had to channel that immense pressure or risk collapsing underneath it. Striker Jonathan David arrived at the tournament carrying his own heavy baggage. After a massive transfer to the Italian league with a high price tag attached, his club form deteriorated. A striker's currency is confidence. Watching David play in Italy recently, you could see the hesitation. The natural joy he usually brought to the pitch had vanished, replaced by the visible strain of intense scrutiny. Pulling on the national team jersey acted as a complete emotional reset. Surrounded by familiar teammates and a system he trusted, the anxiety from his club play seemed to dissipate. This shows the mechanics of David's hold-up play. He receives the ball with his back toward the goal, using physical strength to anchor against larger opponents. He uses that anchor to quickly spin away from his marker, slicing right between opposing center backs. That restored aggression paid off with a spectacular hat trick against Qatar. Scoring 3 goals in a single match made him only the second player in the entire tournament to reach that mark, placing his name right next to Lionel Messi. A player can possess world-class physical strength and technical footwork, but those attributes stay locked away until the mind is clear enough to use them. That soaring team momentum hit a sudden wall with a horrific injury to midfielder Ismaël Koné. During a chaotic challenge, an opponent came in with an aggressive sweep from behind, striking precisely at the weakest point of Koné's calf mid-stride. While the referee immediately issued a red card, the mechanics of the tackle suggest a brutal accident. It was a heavy, reckless challenge that yielded a catastrophic result. The tactical debate meant nothing to the Canadian squad on the field. They had to stand there and watch a core teammate get stretchered off with a visibly broken leg. Seeing a teammate go down like that creates a psychological shock that can easily break a team's concentration. The challenge is keeping the frustration from turning into cards and lost goals. The Canadian players felt the anger, but they kept it contained. Nobody threw a retaliatory tackle, and they refused to let the match devolve into an ugly brawl. Instead, they collected that collective grief and aimed it directly at the Qatari defense. Their execution became instantly tighter and far more aggressive. The results of that emotional control were immediate. Shortly after play resumed, Canada pushed down the field and executed a rapid, clinical finish to put another goal on the board. The goal scorer bypassed his own celebration.
He ran to the sidelines, grabbed Koné's jersey, and held it high for the entire stadium to see. Navigating that mid-game trauma demands a rare level of composure. When play resumed, the group's focus tightened, channeling the shock of the injury into a sharpened, lethal intensity. By the time the final whistle blew, the scoreboard read 6-0. Canada had entirely dismantled the Qatari side. Over 90 minutes, they laid out their core strengths. They execute a relentless high press, they possess elite offensive firepower, and they have an intensely unified locker room. They will need all 3 of those traits immediately, as their upcoming match against a highly structured Swiss team will test this newfound momentum. The tournament's established hierarchy now faces a new variable. Canada evolved from ceremonial co-host to a legitimate tactical threat that scouts can no longer ignore. With individual stars finding their peak confidence and a team culture hardened by sudden adversity, Canada has delivered a blunt warning to the rest of the field. They are here to win.